Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Calgary Stampeder Talk. I'm Mark Steven. Glad to be here and come on and jump on in. Oh, sorry about that. We've had to make some technical changes here at the last minute. Obviously, haven't done a very good job of that. But bring your comments, your questions, your everything. We're looking forward to talking a little bit of Calgary Stampeder football and a few other things with you today, right here. We're just getting it all cranked up and ready to go. Okay, well, some of you have joined in, some more of you will. Your comments are going to appear here. Start out first of all. Okay. Had an audio problem there. Told to get this all fixed up, but the audio's working, so glad you are here. A couple of things to talk to you about. Number one, I haven't done one of these for a while, so I've kind of let you down that way. I promise I'll be doing a few more. Had to make a couple of technical adjustments here, none of them very well. Wanted to do it better, but those things happen from time to time to time. So I want all of you to join in. Please send your questions and comments in. We'll begin responding to them just as soon as we can, as soon as they start to add up. But first things first, I got some very unfortunate news here for you. Kamar Jordan, the Stampeder's fine receiver.
There's still no audio for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not getting any at all. Just post a comment and just say audio issues, restarting stream. Yeah, well, I don't think it's online because, I don't know, maybe when you unplugged it,
Oh, he says he can hear me. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. Okay, good.
Okay.
Now we got it all straightened out here. Okay, well, we got some things to talk to you about. It's very unfortunate. I haven't done one of these for a while. That's on me, so I'm going to try and fix that and become a little more of a regular on this because it's a great way to visit and talk to you. Some bad news. So I kind of expected it, to tell you the truth, but here's the situation. We've got Kamar Jordan in the hospital last night. Dave Dickinson on his talk show said tonight, it, quote, doesn't look good. Doesn't look good with the situation. John Grace is watching. Oh, my goodness. There's a name from the past. All right, maybe I'll bring him on in a second. Just a quick note, though. Dave Dickinson said Kamar Jordan did not look good. He didn't want to give any details away, but that's the way it goes. Let's bring Big John in and add him to the broadcast. And we're going to try and add John anyway to the broadcast. But so that's some really, really tough news there as far as the situation is concerned with Kamar Jordan. I guess I can't say it's a complete shock. Still trying to get John in here. Can't say it's a complete shock, but it's very, very unfortunate news and not good. There's John Grace. How you doing today, John?
What's going on, bro?
All right, John Grace jumping in. Well, we're with me. We're with Stampeder fans, and let's get caught up with you first of all. What are you up to?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just raising two kids and living life to the fullest.
And whereabouts are you right now?
I'm in South Texas, Corpus Christi to be exact.
Oh, all right. Nice and hot down there, that's for sure. So
very hot.
Very hot. So you've been staying in touch with the Stampeders, following things?
I kind of keep up with them from time to time. I watched when Nick, he was over there. I watched the game then. So kind of keep up with Nick and some of the guys that I played with, but not too much CFL. I got two up-and-coming athletes myself that keep me pretty busy.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, Nick's retired and he's settled in Regina, of all places. What'd you think when you heard that?
Wow, it's awful cold over there.
Oh, you got that right. Well, we're just on a video chat with some guys, and the gentleman says John Grace, a great linebacker. Well, he won Player of the Year, so there you go, huh?
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that.
You're still looking good. You look like you're in game shape there.
Hey, I got 3 plays left. I'm saving them, though.
Well, unfortunately, they're set at linebacker, but you never know. It's a long season, right? So there you go. So
I'm saving them for the 2 boys I got here at the house. I'm saving it for them. I got to beat them 3 more times. I'm waiting till high school so I can beat them.
Okay. Well, that's good. Are you involved in football at all, doing any coaching or mentoring or anything?
I do a little bit of working out with guys. I don't do any coaching. That requires a lot of time. I understand the amount of time that it takes to be good. If it takes an athlete 40 hours to get good, the coach has to put 80 hours in to be prepared for the player's 40. I'm not committed to that much time yet.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of there's several former players on the staff now, and that's exactly what they say. They had no clue that it was that involved and that detailed, huh?
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of time. I mean, and if they can tell us what to look for, obviously they watch twice as much film as we watched while we were playing.
We've got a gentleman texted me, said, "When will your boys play for the Stampeders?"
Well, we got quite some time. I got a 12-year-old and I got a 10-year-old, so we got
Oh,
a
okay.
long way from now.
And gentleman texted us, "What are you doing for a living now, John?"
Right now, I actually have my own insurance agency, and then I also
Okay.
work as a safety consultant. So I'm doing a little bit of everything.
Oh, that's good. Well, insurance business, always a need for insurance, isn't there?
Oh yeah, always.
I got my policies there, so don't be trying to sell me one. I'm okay. I'm insured up to date today anyway. So
Hey, you can never have too much insurance. You can never have too much.
spoken like a true insurance professional. So there you are. So that's good. Well, just if you want to just to talk to the other people, if you want to jump in, great. Ask. Yeah, gentleman says, okay, I can wait 10 years for your boys to arrive. So that's good. So, if you want to jump on in, please feel free to do so. And we talk about the current Stampeders. As I say, some tough news on Kamar Jordan. Not really happy to hear that. He's a big receiver. I don't know if you've seen him, John, but he set last game, August 25th, against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He had 249 yards receiving.
Wow,
How about that?
that's a lot of
Team,
yards.
well, it's a team record.
Team record.
Yeah. Stampeder
Wow.
record that had stood for 50 years. Yeah.
Man. What kind of game was that? It must have been a lot of balls thrown. How many?
Yeah,
How
but
many
most of them to
total
him.
How many
It's just
total
one of those
yards?
games where he was just gliding across the field. You just know when somebody's got it going, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So there you are. So
So it's one of
that's
those
about that.
games that you kind of put two or three different guys on him and try to slow him down.
Yep. It could just wasn't. He was just gliding. There was something about him. Just he would just get out there, and all of a sudden he'd just be in the middle of nowhere, nobody around him, and they knew he was going to get the ball, but it was one of those days. But then he got hurt. He kind of got tied up a little bit in the game Labor Day Monday, and I
Oh,
don't know what. Obviously, it's a serious injury now. I kind of thought so at the time, but this is more serious than I thought. So there you go.
oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully, he gets a speedy recovery because you know how it is. You don't want to spend
Oh,
a lot
you
of time
bet.
in the tub. Especially the team probably needs him to be out there. So that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive for a guy to get that many yards in one game.
Yeah. You missed the Labor Day Classic. There's your 3 plays right there. Come back and play a Labor Day game.
No, 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 no. No more competitive. I'm only beating kids from now on out. That's all the athleticism I got back left is to beat kids.
So when are you coming up for an alumni golf tournament one of these days? I got to get you up here.
Well, somebody got to invite me up. I haven't been
Well,
invited up.
there is that.
So
Well, I'll get on them. I'll be seeing those guys. Okay.
yeah. Let them know. I know Henry does his celebrity softball tournament. So
Yeah.
anytime, tell them to give me a call. I'm waiting on my call so I can get my bus over in Hamilton. That's what I'm waiting on. I put
Well,
that
you never.
plug out there now.
We got 2 questions here. What's your favorite memory during your time with the Stampeders here?
Well, it's always got to be. I think I had a 2 interception game. I think I had an 80-yard touchdown. One of the highlights of my career. I think I had an
Yeah.
80-yard touchdown against. I think it was against Montreal. That was one of the best times
Yeah.
that I had at Stampeders.
Yeah.
And then
Well, that's for
too,
sure.
I was actually in Calgary during the first Red Mile run for the hockey team. So I had a
Yeah.
blast
Yeah.
that time too. That was a great time. It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's a good one. Just one other question. It's not for you, but about the team. When does Rogers come back? Big Eric Rogers, who's a big, lanky receiver. They say it could be 6 weeks, so maybe not till after the bye week when they play Toronto. That I don't know. I can't guarantee he'll be back for that game either, so we'll just have to wait and see. But it's not imminent. I can say that. Rogers will not take the place of Kamar Jordan. I can tell you that. Who's the head of the alumni? Well, it's been Dave Heasman for the last little while. Did we lose you there, John? Uh-oh. Get back on, John. If I knocked you off accidentally, that's totally in. So there you go. Anyway, Sindani looked great. So anyway, it was quite an unexpected bonus to have him drop in and visit with us. John Grace talking things with us, a former Stampeder great. But as we mentioned, it looks like Kamar Jordan out for an extended period. Sensational game as far as everything was concerned. I thought anyway, as far as the Stampeders. It was a very entertaining game yesterday, but I won't say it was absolutely the best played game, but in reality, who cares? It was a very good game, so there you are. John Grace, if you're there, get back on. If I cut you off, it was completely by accident. No intent or anything like that. If you want to jump on in and get some questions and get some comments in on here, Lee's watching, wants to get on camera. Cindy's watching, get her on camera. I can see her just about whatever. John, I'm going to bring you back on. John, what did I do? Oh, no answer from live video guest. John, if I missed up on you, I screwed up on that. That was totally by accident. Is there a timeline on Law's return? 3 weeks, again after the bye week. Stampeders have this game, and then they have the Hamilton game the following week. Then they have a bye week, so possibly the bye week, the 28th, when Toronto comes here to play. That would be the earliest. I'm not going to say anything other than that, so that's the situation there. So anyway, we'll wait and see what happens, but it is a ways away. I'm not going to say he's imminent. So, the team's there. I don't know about Seontae Evans. The team, by the way, did not practice or do anything today. So Seontae Evans' health will be decided. Micah Johnson was fighting it a bit too. He's got a bit of a hip pointer there, so he's got to fight that. So we'll see what happens with him. But short week, so any bumps and bruises, you've got to really, really get back to health in a hurry. There's very, very little other time. They're trying to get John Grace back on. Big John, let's add him. All right. No answer from the video guest. Darn. All right. If you got any other questions or comments, some other notes I want to get to. We struggled at right tackle. Any chance they could make a change? No, I'm not going to say they're going to make a change, but certainly Boateng, if you want a player that's made the biggest leap from year to year, Edmonton probably has the two biggest guys in the league. One is Mitchell, who, was not particularly prominent last year, but far more prominent this year. I'm talking about Duke Williams. Did I say Mitchell? Anyway, we'll get some other questions there. Could they make a change before Saturday? The other guy is Boateng, who's really blossomed for Edmonton, 93. I think he's tremendous. So could they make a change? I guess it's possible. But right now, it looks like Spencer's number 6. I think they'll stick with the same lineup, to tell you the truth. Will Arbuckle start before the bye week, rest Bo's knee? I'm going to say no. I think this team's demonstrated every game's important. They play right to the end until they get their situation straightened out as far as their playoffs, as far as, what's going to happen. Then they might contemplate lineup changes, but they won't do so in the interim, I'm convinced. Again, timetable for Eric Rogers, I would say bye week at the earliest, the return game from the bye week when they play the Toronto Argonauts back here. That's the earliest I can see, and I won't even make any guarantees of that, so we'll have to wait and see about that. One other note, and by the way, love your comments. Please send them my way. I'm right here taking them. Even had John Grace drop in there for a minute. Anthony Parker, a very popular and well-regarded player here. You may have seen it, has signed with the BC Lions. He was on the field today, so, good to see Anthony resuming his career. And personally, I think there's an excellent chance that he plays on the weekend. They have Ottawa. They've got a lot of injuries to the receiver. Shaq Johnson is down. Emmanuel Arsenault, their go-to guy, is down. And you know what? I think you're going to be in a situation where the BC Lions need an experienced hand. They're fighting for their playoff lives. They don't have a lot of time to work in. They have another receiver who's a rookie, Watson, but I truthfully don't think they've got a lot of time or inclination to work him, gently into the lineup. They need help now, because if they lose that game, I won't say it's over, but I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, that's for sure. So drop me a line. It's Mark Stephen here. We're talking about the Calgary Stampeders, talking about football, talking about what's going on in and around the league. One thing I want to tell you that I was very happy with on the weekend: Kyrie's Hebert was finally suspended for 2 games. It's probably too late, too long, but let me say this, it's about time. It's about time the league got serious. Yeah, I know these guys don't make tons and tons of money outside quarterbacks, but guess what? Neither do the injured players when they're out. They want to play football too. So no, it's good that it was 2 games, and there's reports from Ottawa tonight. It's unclear if he's going to be back playing. If he's going to be back playing once the suspension is over. I mean, you add this up, he'll have missed 3 games due to suspension. I mean, that's a whole different world, right? 3 games due to suspension. Do you want to continue broadcasting? Yes, I do. Most underrated players in your eyes this season. I'm not sure if you mean in the league or on the Stampeders. Who is the most underrated player on the Stampeders this year? I don't know if he's underrated or not, but I'll throw his name out there, Jameer Thurman. I think he's played very, very well and really cemented that linebacker spot. He's kind of a quiet and a low-key guy, so maybe he doesn't attract a lot of attention, but his work on special teams, he's had multiple games where he's had multiple special team tackles, very, very reliable. Remember, he's just 2 years out of college. I mean, he's 2 years with the Stampeders, but 2 years ago he was playing at Indiana State, so he's still a very young player. And to make the progress that he's made, I would say probably Jameer Thurman as much as anybody. He's very effective, really an important part of the Stampeders, and I think they really landed a good one there, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. But he's doing very, very well as far as this season. So if there's an underrated player, that's the guy that I consider to be underrated on the Calgary Stampeders. Around the league, I have to sit and think about that one. Can't be anybody on Saskatchewan, can it? They get all the hype. There's players all around the league. Does Brad Sinopoli get enough attention? I don't know. I think he's pretty good. But anyway, those are some of the guys. Really like Robertson too. Yeah, he's a little different in a sense. He's a rookie, but he's fit right in too. He's done very, very well. He may get that short side boundary corner spot for the return match in Edmonton if Seontae Evans can't play, and they'll throw Tay Glover right out there. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But anyway, that's the circumstances. We'll get a lot more tomorrow because, as mentioned, the Stampeders have the day off, at least the players do today, and they'll be back on it tomorrow. Robertson hits like a tank. Wow. Yeah, look, that hit on Walker, I don't like to see players get hurt, especially a good one like Walker, but you know what? That was just a mean, hard hit. There was nothing illegal about it. He landed awkwardly, got twisted around. I don't know if he'll play either as well. I'm talking about Walker, who I think is a real dandy. I really like watching him. Just a quick sip of grapefruit pop, my favorite. There you go. But yeah, Robertson really hits like a tank. Make no mistake about that. And he's been a tremendous addition to the team this year. Make no mistake about that. He's been very, very good. Let's go to Regina here. Rob is on. Wait, we're going to add him in a second. There's even Rough Rider fans in Regina. We'll get one on in a minute. Having a little bit of a Twitter war with some of the Rough Rider fans. They don't like to hear things about their team and everything, but you know what I say? Too bad. There's Rob. Rob, welcome to the show. What's up?
Hey, how are you doing, Mark? Nice to join you.
Hi, good. How are you? You got lots of fans on here, lots of people watching. What's up? Were you at the Labor Day Regina game?
Say that again?
Were you at the Regina Labor Day game?
Yeah, I went to the Regina Labor Day game and sat in the crowd and had a great time. It's always a good buzz. That was actually my first Labor Day game as a fan sitting in the Mosaic Stadium watching Riders and Blue Bombers. So it was really fun. It was my first Regina Labor Day. There's my son.
There you go. By the way, speaking of crowds, I want to congratulate and thank everyone that was at McMahon Stadium on yesterday. That was a tremendous, loud crowd. They really made a difference, and I think there's no question that, the numbers were there, the volume was there. It was tremendous. And how about the fact that the weather broke right for the game? I mean, it was brutal yesterday morning. I'm talking record-setting cold, and then it turned into be a pretty nice day. So, the best of the weather. Then after the game, when I left the dressing room, it started to rain. So all the good weather was there. So how's that sound?
Yeah, it was.
So I'm sure they're excited in Regina. I'm sure they're convinced that all their woes are behind them now. Are they?
Yeah, it's there was a lot of confident folks here this week. Let me tell you, after the third win in a row, but I got to tell you, the fans, it was loud in Mosaic for the Labor Day game here, but I think it was louder when the Stamps were in town by far. I think there was, the Labor Day here has a huge atmosphere, lots of buzz, but man, I thought it was louder when the Stamps were in town, to be honest. So.
Okay. We've got a couple of people that just signed on. Any word on Jordan? And here's the word. We got started the program. It's not good. Dave Dickinson said on his talk show tonight there that it, quote, doesn't look good. He spent the night in a hospital. What exactly that means, I don't know. But you know what? Let's just say it's not a good picture. So would Reggie Begelton be activated? I don't know what's going on with that. But that's what it is, and this team's going to have to suck it up. It's amazing because Jordan, coming off of that record-setting game, then the next game he's gone, and I don't know. I don't want to speculate if it's for the season or whatever, but it's just not a good picture for him and the Stampeders. So they'll have to tough it out, but it's really unfortunate because he's such a talented receiver and was having a real breakthrough year. I mean, entering that game, the top 3 receivers in the league were on the field. I'm talking about Duke for Edmonton, along with Darrell Walker, along with Kamar Jordan. The 3 of them were the top receivers, and 2 of them might not play in the rematch. I don't know what Walker's status is. Kamar Jordan, it certainly doesn't sound good. Bet on Begelton. That strikes me as the most obvious and logical move, as a player to come back on the roster. But yeah, there you are. Bryn sent me a teary emoji, which I totally understand. It's not a good picture. So anyway, if you've got any questions or comments there, I've got some news. Kamar Jordan out. We spoke with John Grace and a few others. That was a lot of fun. And just any thoughts you have on the second half of the season, the thoughts on the suspension to Kerry's Bear, about time. And at number 3, Anthony Parker resurfacing with the BC Lions. Wish him well. The Stamps have a couple games against them, so maybe we'll see Anthony up against the Stampeders. And in uniform, they gave him number 86 out there, so he has an orange 86 to wear as a member of the BC Lions. Just one other note. Do you think there are any NFL cuts that the Stampeders will sign? They'll bring some in. It's possible some of them will play, but let's be candid. They don't have a lot of obvious holes right now that they have to fill. I think they'll fill them internally. I'm not saying it won't happen. Something will happen, but they generally use this as evaluation time. That's what Nick Arbuckle did, for that matter. It was evaluation time for him, so he had to, go through this camp, and they liked what they saw, gave him a call, and here he is. So that's it. Are you aware of any NFL Cups of Stamps may sign? No, I don't think so. When do they expand the roster? You can expand it, I think it's as of now, for 30 days. It's right around now. It's up to 30 days that you can bring in an expanded roster. So again, mostly for evaluation, but some guys will make the roster. There'll be injured players. There'll be players down for the count. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of moves, because simply put, they don't need a lot of moves to be made for sure. They have a short practice tomorrow, then on Thursday a practice, and then up to Edmonton. But, it's a short turnaround, but it's the same for both teams, and it's negligible as far as the circumstances with travel are concerned. So it's same for both teams. It's nothing there. Back to it, the Eskimos, they're feeling the heat pretty good about why they can't hang on to leads. As far as that game was concerned, the Eskimos had a bunch of, good plays, but once again, a penalty killed them, and that's really just ruining their season. The Stampeders are one of the least penalized teams in the league. The Eskimos, one of the most, and I think that's the major difference between the two teams, because the Eskimos have some talents. Too bad all the games aren't in CBC. First of all, I don't worry much about TV, but there you go. But, when the deal comes up again, CBC can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter to me, but right now TSN is the television rights holder. Bo Levi Mitchell made me very nervous yesterday. I see what you're saying, but I got the impression he wasn't hit, so I don't think it's that bad an injury. I mean, I'm sure he's sore, but he just got tangled up and tripped and landed awkwardly. So what can they do to avoid more injuries? They can't. I wish there was a magic pill. Every coach in the league would be consuming it and giving it to their players to consume. It's a rough game. A violent game at times, and there are going to be injuries. I wish there was a way to avoid them. You can work out hard, train right, be right, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantee you'll be able to avoid injuries at all. Just play smart, play fast, and see what happens. Do you expect Eric Rogers to be practicing soon? No answer to that. I don't think you'll see him before the Toronto game, which is post-bye week. And then after that, I'm not sure even then if he'll be on the field. They could certainly use him, but, he only started lightly jogging, and he's a long way away from playing. And I can't conceive of a circumstance where he's healthy before then. So those are some of the issues. Be nice, and hopefully he's ready to go for any playoff run. That would be the key there. So we'll just see. But he's a talented player. Of that, there's a little question. And, it'd be nice to have him, Tavares, and Kamar Jordan on the roster at the same time, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Again, we'll get the full update on Jordan, but it's not going to happen if it happens at all this year anytime soon. So we'll have to wait and see. Just one other note, how about Rennie Paredes, the 5 field goal man? That was a tremendous kick there. And, Rennie is continuing to move up the CFL scoring ranks. He went by Don Sweet in that game. So cool. You know what? Here's the difference between the Stampeders and everyone else. You tell me what you think. Even though there was about a minute left, the game was tied. And Edmonton gives up the ball. The Stampeders get it. I just had a comfort level that Bo Levi Mitchell would find a way to drive them into scoring range, and that Rennie Paredes would kick it through. Once they got their hands on the ball with that amount of time left, and I just think and they knew it too. It doesn't matter what I think. They knew it. And I think that's a big difference between this team. The level of confidence they have in themselves. They know they're good because they've demonstrated it. They're not telling you. They just go out and do it. You can say you're good, but they go out and show it every single day. So I just had a confidence level that they were going to do it. I just did. And it's because they've demonstrated it time after time after time. Mark, any updates on Kamar? No, just that he was in hospital last night. And Dave Dickinson on his show tonight said, quote, "It doesn't look good." I don't know what that means, except it doesn't look good. Knee injuries are really delicate. So we'll just see. Maybe we'll get more information tomorrow. So that's the story there. So I don't know about you. Just tell me what you thought about that last drive. I was really comfortable the Stampeders were going to pull it off there. So they did. And, Bo Levi Mitchell continues to rack up an absolutely crazy winning percentage. Let me put it to you this way. This is me. The MOP in the CFL was on the field yesterday. Could be Williams with Edmonton. Might be Riley. Could be Bo Levi Mitchell. He was on the field there. Bo Levi Mitchell, he's a warrior. Yeah, he didn't want to come out. Everybody's in good spirits. Lucky penalty. I wouldn't go that far. There's ticky-tack penalties all over the place sometimes, but referees did not decide that game. Okay? Are there calls that both teams can question? Yep. The referees did not decide that game, though. Okay? It was Edmonton's turnover-itis at the wrong time that gave the Stampeders chances. And the Stampeders this year have been killers when they get their hands on the ball and via turnover. They just punch it in the end zone and you pay for it. It's one of the reasons they are where they are. Since his ball has been the starter, I have every faith in him to bring us back when we're down. That's faith well placed because he's demonstrated it night after night after night after night. So there you are. So anyway, I'm going to continue here for one more second. I just want to wrap it up at about 8:30 here. We've gone half an hour. I did not expect John Grace to pop in. I'm sure glad he did, but I certainly didn't expect him to pop in and get caught up with things. And I want to thank you. I will make you this promise. I haven't done this for a while. I keep saying I'll do it next week. And there's been too many next weeks, so I promise it'll be done. Stampeders forced those fumbles. I agree totally. I'll be doing this. Let's put it this way. It'll be sooner rather than later the next time that I do this. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. I had a lot of fun. I love talking. It will be a little more technically astute next time and getting things going, but this has been a lot of fun. Tell your friends about it. Share it, like it, whatever you do. Appreciate you joining us, all of you, wherever you are, in Calgary, Texas, wherever. It was really good to see John Grace in Corpus Christi, so there you are. Can never have too much insurance. Remember that. That's what the man said. So there you are. So listen, thank you. We'll see you on the radio. We'll be in Edmonton on Saturday. Kickoff at 5. Pregame show at 3:30. And thank you very much for joining us tonight on our Facebook live chat on the CFL and the Calgary Stampeders. Good night, everyone.